Today, we're diving into that riveting World War II account of America's secret PT boats. You know, the ones that turned the tides in the Pacific.
I'm really excited to talk about this. It's one of those historical surprises that just captivates the imagination, right?
Absolutely. These weren't your everyday warships. They were these 80-foot wooden PT boats that seemed almost experimental in nature. They were armed with Mark 13 torpedoes and powered by Packard V12 engines, reaching speeds up to 45 knots.
Wow, 45 knots, that's fast. It almost sounds like something out of a high-octane film.
Exactly, it's like, a small, agile predator in the vast ocean, striking hard and then disappearing into the shadows. The story really hammers home that on the night of July 20th, 1943, off Vella La Vella, 3 of these boats ambushed a massive Japanese convoy.
Right, and what really gets me is that they managed to sink 2 huge transport ships carrying about 6,000 enemy soldiers. Yep, that's no small feat.
For sure, it's almost like they were rewriting naval strategy with that single surprise attack. The element of stealth, aided by the wooden construction, really played into their hands.
Yeah.
The Japanese were, reportedly, utterly stunned by how these Mosquito boats could disrupt their plans so decisively.
I can just picture the confusion on the Japanese side. They definitely didn't expect such a nimble hit-and-run tactic.
Right. And what's fascinating is the layered strategy behind it. Not only did these boats rely on their own speed, but they also benefited from critical intelligence provided by coast watchers and Solomon Islander allies. It's like they had an entire network feeding them real-time tips.
Yeah, that kind of integrated approach really amplifies the impact. It's almost reminiscent of modern asymmetric warfare strategies, don't you think?
Absolutely. It shows that sometimes innovation isn't just about flashy technology. It's about creative tactics and leveraging every available piece of intelligence to strike at the right moment.
Right, but while the innovation is impressive, I've always wondered, don't you think the wooden construction posed a durability risk? I mean, it's like using paper over armor.
That's a fair point. And many have questioned that aspect. The wooden hulls did in fact compromise durability to some extent, but the trade-off was speed and, crucially, stealth. They needed to be light and fast to catch the enemy off guard, and if you're in for a single decisive strike, maybe that risk was worth it.
I see your point. It makes sense when you consider these boats weren't meant for prolonged engagements, but rather strategic hit-and-run attacks.
Exactly. Their mission was to create maximum disruption. And speaking of disruption, it's so interesting how these boats, with their Mark 13 torpedoes, changed the psychological landscape of naval warfare in the Pacific.
Right.
The Japanese began to dread the dark, almost as if the very night held a new menace for them.
It's almost poetic in a way. Small wooden boats sending ripples of terror through a formidable naval force.
Yeah, it's like they turned the enemy's confidence on its head, proving that even a tiny, agile craft can punch way above its weight. And the story really shines a light on the courage of the crews who manned these vessels. Volunteers who embraced an unorthodox weapon and, faced overwhelming odds with unwavering resolve.
Absolutely. There's something incredibly inspiring about that audacity. It's not just about technology, but also about human spirit and ingenuity.
Definitely. I mean, consider the training behind it. All those sessions at Melville, Rhode Island, and then transitioning into the chaotic, mosquito-infested bases at Rendova and Tulagi. It really was an evolution from a concept, almost a prototype, to a game-changing operational tool. That evolution is a brilliant example of American adaptability in warfare.
It almost makes you wonder how much of today's modern naval tactics have roots in these very innovations, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's like a blueprint for creative problem-solving under pressure. And the pilot accounts, like those from Chief Petty Officer Thomas Tom Harrigan, Can you imagine witnessing that night of ambush firsthand? It must have been both terrifying and awe-inspiring.
For sure, hearing those first-hand accounts really adds a human dimension to what might otherwise be just a technical discussion about boats and torpedoes.
Right. And it's fascinating how the narrative shows that sometimes unconventional methods outweigh conventional strength. The reliance on speed over armor and innovation over bulk really signifies a turning point.
I agree, though I still wonder if the risks in that approach might have backfired if the enemy had countered differently. I mean, tactical gambles always come with potential downsides.
That's a valid critique. Sure, if the enemy had been better prepared to counter ambushes, these wooden boats might have been more vulnerable. But the historical outcome, sinking 2 major transport ships, illustrates that the gamble, in this case, paid off immensely.
Yep.
It's a calculated risk that changed the battlefield dynamic.
And that's an important lesson, isn't it? How sometimes high-risk strategies are exactly what's needed to offset an enemy's overwhelming force.
Precisely. It underscores a timeless principle in warfare, that strategy often trumps raw power. The ingenious use of limited resources to deliver a massive psychological and tactical blow has echoes in so many modern tactics, even if the tools have changed.
Yeah, it's the classic David versus Goliath scenario just played out on the vast Pacific.
Exactly. And that David moment was amplified by the integration of real-time intelligence, like the Coast Watchers and the Solomon Islander allies. They were the eyes that helped steer the PT boats right into the enemy's path.
That coordination is really remarkable. It highlights that innovation isn't just about hardware. It's also about networking and, teamwork.
Right on. And it's interesting to note how much detail has gone into narrating these events, even down to the engine details and tactical maneuvers. It paints a vivid picture of an era where sheer determination could level the playing field against a much larger adversary.
And all of that builds a story that is, well, both thrilling and frankly a bit humbling. It's like a masterclass in turning the odds in your favor through sheer creativity.
Absolutely. It reminds us that sometimes the most impactful strategies are the ones that defy conventional wisdom. The PT boats weren't just vessels. They were a symbol of audacious innovation in the face of overwhelming odds. They embodied that spirit of resourcefulness that continues to inspire even today.
And that's what makes these chapters of history so relevant. It's not just about the machines or the battle, it's about the human ingenuity behind them.
Exactly. The story of America's secret PT boats isn't just a tale of naval warfare. It's a narrative of bold risk-taking, strategic brilliance, and enduring resilience. It's like each element, from the wooden hull to the Packard engines, kept pushing boundaries.
Yeah, and even though some might say relying on such experimental tactics could be a double-edged sword, the overall impact on the Japanese strategic mindset was undeniable.
Absolutely. And while there's always room for critique, like the durability concerns you mentioned, the audacity of these methods helped redefine what was possible during the war. In a way, it's a reminder that sometimes you got to take a leap of faith to secure your victory.
I appreciate that perspective. It's a balanced view acknowledging both the risks and the revolutionary benefits.
Right. A blend of calculated risk and innovative strategy was the order of the day. And ultimately, though these boats were small and experimental, they made a historic mark that would shift the balance in the Pacific theater.
And that's a lesson that resonates beyond military history. It's about challenging the status quo and, transforming limitations into strengths.
Couldn't have put it better myself. This deep dive not only highlights the tactical surprise of these PT boats, but also celebrates the relentless drive for innovation when the stakes are highest.
Absolutely. It's a powerful reminder that even in the darkest of times, like those shadowed nights in the Pacific, ingenuity and courage can illuminate a path to victory.
Well said. It's been a fascinating journey through this slice of wartime history, showcasing how Unexpected strategies can reshape entire theaters of war.
Definitely, thanks for this engaging discussion. It's always exciting to hear how bold strategies and raw courage can intertwine to create history.
Anytime. Let's keep exploring these surprising narratives that remind us how history is often written by those who dare to innovate.
Agreed. Until next time, keep questioning and discovering the unexpected corners of our past.